Good evening, everybody. So, here's what I'm going to do. So, this video here is just explaining what the hell I done with this thing. So, here's the story. So, y'all know that I had a 2000 F-350. It was a white truck, long bed, crew cab, 7.3. I converted it to a 5-speed and from the automatic. But either way, so, oh wow, I just noticed that trim up there. Nice. I'll fix that later. But anyway, so I sold that truck. Well, I had that truck for, oh gosh, 10 years. I mean, I graduated high school, got a personal loan and bought the truck. So either way, had it for about 10 years. Decided to sell it because I needed a bigger truck. And I got this thing. So I'm going to go ahead and spill. Yeah, I paid $6,000 for this, the way it sat. So right here, it did have a oil reclaim and oil change lube. It had a lube system. Mobile lube truck is what it was. There's Sunbelt, hence the green. There was a tank here. There was two fresh tanks and then a waste tank on the bottom. And it had hose reels inside of the compartment above the wheel on the passenger side. I sold that whole system off of it, and the compressor came with it too. And like I said, I'd done a hell of a job, hell of a deal on that one. So, and I drove to South Carolina to get it. So, either way, I got it as it needed an injector. Well, gonna find out it didn't need an injector. The dang thing actually spun bearings. Every bearing on the rods. It spun every damn rod bearing. The main bearings weren't that bad. The front main, it grabbed it and spun it on the journal, but it didn't have too much. It was still within tolerance. It didn't have any slop in the cap when it was onto the block. Like all 5 of the main caps were, they were tight to the block. I had to hammer them in. So that was a good part there. That was really it. I just pretty much just rebuilt the bottom end of this thing, and there it is. Let's see, I'm open the hood. And then it's got, I had 176 and some change on it. Now it's got 177.6, and it sorry, I'm drawing a blank. And it didn't run. So I got it to crank over, but it wasn't enough to fire off. Like it wanted to fire, like, as it was cranking over, building fuel pressure, it wanted to pop, but it just wouldn't fire off. And me and my buddy decided, well, we're going to have to go into the bottom end of this thing. I really didn't want to. Pulled off the bottom oil pan, and there was freaking metal in it. So, and then that was pretty much it. Pretty much just yanked it out, took it apart, figured out what I had to do with it. But now it's a good running truck. So anyway, the other thing that was wrong too, it didn't have a display. I fixed that. So when I got on YouTube and looked, there was some solders loose on one of the resistors, so I pretty much just pulled the radio out, pulled it apart, took it in the house, and just literally just tapped my solder iron on every resistor solder and come back out here and plugged it up, and dang thing works. I was so happy. Anyway, back on the mechanical side. So I put an oil pressure gauge in it because I didn't want to there's no way to monitor oil pressure. So the only thing I gotta figure out now is why it bounces. I don't know if that's the regulator, the oil pressure regulator, or something in the oil pump. It didn't start doing that. it didn't start doing that until one day I was coming back from a job site, and I had it in a tow haul. It was kind of a downhill on a sharp curve. I, was slowing down. I was only doing maybe like 40 miles per hour. I was slowing down to go around the turn, and it shifted down. And this son of a gun, I swear it was at like it almost hit $4,000, and it scared the bejeebies out of me. And ever since then, it's been doing that. So, I'm really just gonna run it till it quits, if it does. Because I know I can get a decent long block for a good bit of, well, I can get a decent long block for, to me, relatively cheap, and it's a good block, so I'm not really fretting over that. So took the engine out, pretty much completely rebuilt it. I'll show you the aftermath parts over there, and I just freaking ran it. Just started it and ran it. So, and that's what you got right there. So this here's my donor block that I got the parts out of. So this block here is actually no good because this cylinder, that's the one on the other side. Oh, cylinder, whatever. No, it ain't that one either. Where's it? Oh, it's right there. So I don't know if you can see those gouges in the wall, and on the bottom it's broken. This is the old crank. This is the old crankshaft. Every journal is pretty much ruined. It didn't spin the gear, which was a good part. And then, so here is the old pistons. So I took every piston out of that block. I took the crank, pistons. I reused my heads. I got new bolts. The oil squirters came out of that block. So I pretty much just moved everything from there to my engine. And then like I said, this is where the rod bearings were. I mean, they were literally welded. They're welded to the rods. Like, I haven't seen anything that bad in a while. Some of them were okay. But I just felt more comfortable using a good rod and pistons. And the timing cover, this timing cover is off of my engine. I took the timing cover and oil pump off of the good block and put it on my engine. They look the same as far as wear. There was no metal sent through my engine, and I just chose to do that. So I feel like if I have to get back in that engine again, I'm just going to replace it with a good long block, and I'm not even going to touch this stuff here. So I got a bunch of spare parts here that I could probably reuse, like this freaking front cover here, and the back plate, which still has the crank sensor and tone ring on it. But that was their biggest major thing. It spun every daggone rod bearing and some of the mains. Where are those caps? Yeah. So here's the old caps. They got spot flash rust on them now, so you'll be able to see it. Also, I did take the harmonic balancer with that crank. So yeah, that crank has its harmonic balancer. So all this stuff here is just out of my engine. Except the heads. The heads are with this block. And that one bad cylinder, it literally obliterated that piston. I actually have it. It's in the back of that truck. I'll show you that in a minute. And the injection system, I reused my stuff over there on that one. I do have a spare set. I also have, I don't know about that CP. It's probably bad now since it's freaking been open. There's a ring in it. I have 2 more spare CP4s that are good. And I got a rail here and another rail over there on my pad, concrete pad. And that's it. So yeah, all this yeah, I went through the whole shebang. And like I said, I got over 1,000 miles on it now, and daggone, man, it's some people, you know, some doubted me. Some doubted me on it, saying, "Oh, that's not gonna work. It's just it won't last." I'm not gonna. I'll actually where I'm gonna buy the engine from. Oh, the other thing too, I swapped the cam. I did take the cam and lifters out of that block, put in mine. So this is the cam, my original cam. So what I'm doing here, I'm pretty much gonna like make a little test setup for the CP4s, using the cam gear and the original CP gear, and like have a starter or something spin the big gear, or just make something direct that'll like spawn onto that. But I don't know how I want to do that just yet. That's really it. So that's all I wanted to show. Just what I've done with that engine and what status it is now. Let me show you that piston. So this here is that piston. I swear those damn dogs. So piston was in pieces. I don't. Like I said, the only thing that tore up was that cylinder. And looking at the rod bearings, like the rod bearings were fine. Yeah, it's got a little spot right there, but it's not. You know, it wasn't. I mean, it looked different now, but when I took it apart, I found this in the bottom of the block, and it surprised the crap out of me. I was like, wow, that's crazy how it chewed that up. It's like somebody went in there with a grinder and just like cut it. So yeah, that's pretty much it on this. Yeah, I still don't know. I'm gonna frame this actually, because that's fantastic. I mean, it does look like literally like somebody just went in there with a grinder and just like cut that, and then it just pretty much ripped it apart from there. That's wild. Well, if you look at it on this side, it literally got ripped apart. But I don't know. I don't know what would cause this unless it had maybe injector failed. An injector failed and hydrolock. That's the only thing I can think of. So if you put it back together, I mean, I guess that would be hydrolock, possibly. And that could explain the smooth. Well, no, that don't explain the smooth, because that's not smooth. I don't know. I just don't know. If y'all have a synopsis, freaking say something. Let me know. But yeah, it's crazy how that happened like that. And this here's from 17. It's a good truck. They're both deleted, and that's my workhorse. So yeah, y'all let me know what you think on that connecting rod. And again, like I said, that block there was a good donor block. I honestly selling the oil system on the truck, I got my money back. The only thing I don't have recovered back is, you know, obviously my time and maybe the gaskets. Yeah, you know, $500 in gaskets. Well, it wasn't that much. It was actually like $300 off. I got everything off Rock Auto. I got new rod bearings, new main bearings, and pretty much all the upper gaskets. The oil pan gasket, yeah, oil pan gaskets. I still do have the plastic oil pan on the bottom of that thing. I still do have the plastic oil pan. I don't have any issues at it. When I start having issues, yeah, I'll try to replace it, I guess, whatever. But, you know, everybody says, oh, swap over to the metal one. You know what? I'm not going to do it because the damn thing ain't leaking. That's all that matters. So, and this one here obviously has the metal lower pan. So, And the upper pan, yeah, the upper pan, I have that one and that one over there, and they're both the O-ring style. So this one here is the silicone style. And again, I'm not gonna worry about it because it ain't freaking leaking. It don't use a bit of oil. It don't use a bit of coolant. Knock on wood. And like I said, if it starts doing that, then I'll work on just getting me another long block on the way. I mean, that's all there is to it, and just swap it out and roll on. Like I said, that block's been through hell, and if it cracks out again, it's probably just time. It's move on. But yeah. Oh, and I did weld the crank gear. I did do that before I stuck that new crank back in there. So that's it.